users, even if their password is password, it happens. So to drive customer call support down, you don't want them users calling you on the phone because it gets pretty expensive when they want to change their password. So we need more automated ways to determine a person's identity to get their username and password back. And one of the ways they do that is with secret questions and answers. And these systems are flawed all over the place, but one I wanted to draw your attention to was one on the Sprint site dealing with their cell phones. And if you had a person's cell phone number, you could actually, we'll get to it, you could actually reset their password. But if you have somebody's cell phone numbers and maybe know just a little bit about them, you could change their billing address, order phones, mail it all to them, add GPS to their phone. Great for stalkers if they want to do such things. So that when you enter a person's cell phone number, it presents you with 3 very challenging questions. The first one says, after, well, I should read it here. Which of the following vehicle makes has been registered at the following address? It has a Lotus, a Honda, a Lamborghini, and a Fiat. Okay. Yeah. The second question, if you're really clever, again, you might know this person and who they might have bunked with. But which of the following people have resided with you or used the following address as you at? Now, this is pretty interesting. There's different names here, but there's one very interesting one. This Jerry Steffel here. This is a little database error. There should be 3 piped lines because this person is the third. So you can notice those little database errors that give you clues on who they are. But let's say you can't do the research, you can't figure this out, you don't see this error. Your odds are 1 in 5, right? So whatever. And the last one, again, another clever one. In which of the following cities have you never lived or used in your address? And the options are Longmont, North Hollywood, Genoa, and Butte. This is the only one not in the DC area. So just answer these simple questions. You log into somebody's account, you get their password reset, and you have the run of the place. You can do whatever you want on their cell phone account. And for those of you that have following the elections in the news, Sarah Palin's account, the VP nominee for the Republican Party, had her Yahoo mail address read in much the same way because secret questions and answers can be easily revealed. So it happens. So what people have done, what website owners have done instead of secret questions, they have another option. And one is to send you the special email. You put in your email address and say, I forgot my password, and they send you a special link with a big long number in it, right? You click on it, reset your password, and hopefully no one could read your email. So every site uses this stuff. Facebook, Google, Yahoo, everybody. So what happens is, even the big banks out there use this stuff, brokerages, a lot of sites use this stuff. So what happens is people start tying these really, really important accounts to their webmail accounts. And look at the adoption rates of webmail. Over 500 million people actually utilize webmail. So if you're trying to hack somebody's bank account, their Gmail account or their Google account for AdSense or whatever a case may be, why go after the hardened target directly? Go hack their webmail, right? It's much easier to get access to their account because you're not so much interested in their email, you're interested in the access that the email provides you. So let's move on here. So there are people out there that are really, really good at recovering passwords for email accounts, and they provide this as a service. So one of them is the Chinese-based online password recovery services, and for $43, they said they can break into an overseas mailbox password with an 85% success rate. Not bad. For $29, they can break into a domestic mailbox password with a 90% probability. And for $143, you can break into a company's mailbox password. They didn't give a success rate, but just under $150. That's not so bad to break into somebody's email account, which might get you access to their bank account. Really good cost. So there's a lot of services out there. There's another one here, Hired to Hack. It's Hired to Hack cracks all Yahoo, MSN, Hotmail, AOL, Gmail passwords in less than 24 hours. Tell us someone cracks faster, and we give you candy. Variable project-based pricing, $150, and they accept Western Union for convenience. So not too hard out there. There are services out there that do the hacking for you. All right. Now, passwords are important, but so are usernames, especially when usernames and email addresses are the same thing. We see this all over the place, especially in social networks. And they're really, really popular or powerful for phishers, because if a phisher wants to, they like to validate email addresses, and they like to know what email address or what service that you use so they can better target you. If they know this email address is valid and you use a particular social network or a particular bank, this helps them target the attacks better. So there's a lot of e-commerce portals out there that are suffering through timing-based attacks just to validate email addresses on their system. So they'll target the authentication systems and the password recovery systems. They'll put in let's say, an email address they want to check. And what happens is when you authenticate against a system, there's a lot of times there's two if statements. The first if statement says, I get this email address in, check in the database if this email address is active or this account is active. If it is, move on to the next if, which says, check their password, right? If it's not part of the system, it quickly kicks out and doesn't make it to the next if statement. These two different flows of logic take two different amounts of time to execute, and you can actually tell externally if the system responds in 10 milliseconds versus 20 milliseconds or thereabouts. You can tell which email addresses are valid or which ones are not, despite whatever error message they give you. And I can tell you from knowledge that I've gotten from different people that had code those things, that these guys are getting blasted with those things. The really difficult part with timing-based attacks is the only tool we have to fight them is more time, and time equals money. So it's a really challenging problem, and one we're going to see more of over time. As timing attacks are possible on gaming systems, you can tell the state of a game on online poker games and make a lot of money there. You can tell what the dealer has, those sorts of things. So it's an area that we're constantly looking more at. By the way, if there's any questions as we go forward, just well, throw a ball or raise your hand.
How many of you guys have seen the old Superman? How about Office Space? My people. How many of you are ready for a nap after eating? Okay, whatever. So this is a classic hack, and what's really great about these types of attacks we're talking about, guys, businesses kind of sweep them back under the carpet. No one talks about them. Excuse me. But why? You guys, the researchers, can't talk about them, right? We're all under NDA. Most of you guys have seen all of this or know about them already. Now, the Office Space attack is nothing new. We're talking about micro transfers, high volumes, large dividends, right? Who's that guy? All right, so Michael Largent isn't this guy, but this is ultimately what did him in. There was a situation where Michael scripted up very simple account creation processes, name, address, whatever's necessary, creating thousands upon thousands upon thousands, 58,000 accounts. Standard Superman attack, small micro transfers. The ACH process. How many of you guys are in finance? Financial accounting firms, that sort of thing, banks?
Or still.
Don't do this. So the ACH transfer is very simple. If I'm going to transfer Jeremiah money for something, it's going to do a small micro transfer to verify the account's right. Once we verify that, communicate, yeah, I got the micro transfer, go ahead and come through with the full amount. Well, if we stop that, and I own all of the accounts, I pull them to one central account, what's happened? I've populated a great deal of money in small amounts. Now, this attack targeted dozens and dozens of organizations. What's very interesting about this is, well, here we go. Google checkout, he made about $8,000. E-Trade, a shade more. He would pull the money out, prepay a debit card. Why did